So today's class we're going to be doing another cocktail fascinator, all right? And I'm going to take you through the tools and materials we'll be needing for this project in a minute. But before we go to that, I'd like to say, if you're watching us for the first time, that you hit on the subscribe button and on the notification bell as well, so that you'll be notified whenever a new video is uploaded. Okay, so in today's class we are going to be doing another cocktail fascinator, like I said, and this is my stencil for the project. I'm going to show you how to develop a stencil, but in the meantime, let's go through the materials. You're going to need a sateen fabric. For me, I'm going to be using the Dutchet sateen, right? You can use any sateen that works with you. So sateen fabric, some bird cage veil, of course your cinnamon, and your lace fabric. Okay, millinery wire, and then your stitching thread. And as usual, I'm using the nylon thread, 0.25 millimeters thickness, some needles, some cutting tools. So you need your scissors, your cutter, whatever you have, your pliers for cutting the millinery wire. You need some picks, craft picks, and then you need your ruler as well, your marking tools, and some glue. If anything else comes up as I am working, I'll let you know. So in the meantime, let's develop our shape. So this is a shape you're going for. So you grab your A4 sheet as usual, put them into 2 equal halves, then into another 2. Okay, so we are looking for an oval shape. You grab your pencil, your pen, whatever you have, and I'm going to be drawing from here to here. It's up to you exactly what you want to do, but because it's an oval shape, I cannot give you the exact diameter to be going around, because you realize at this point the diameter will be shorter than this end. Okay, so just make 2 marks here, one here, one here. Try and do a shape like this. Okay, try your best and get a beautiful shape out of it. So this is it. You're going to go like that. I'm going to try and make it look rounded. But then I'll grab my paper cutting scissors and then cut it out. Okay, so this is a perfect shape I'm looking at. All right, if you want me to give you the measurements, it is 10 inches long. All right, 6.8 inches. Okay, now let me give it to you in centimeters, because I know a number of you keep working in centimeters. I, for some reason, still work in inches, and I'm comfortable with that. So this way is 17.5 centimeters. Across this way, that is around 25.5 centimeters. Okay, so you overlay it like that. All right, and I think I've explained a number of times the reason why we do this overlay is just so that the holes in your cinnamon are kind of made smaller, because if you put both like this, the holes still remain bigger, but when you crisscross it like that, the holes look smaller. All right, so this is what we're going for. So I'm going to grab some pins and hold my paper stencil to it, and then we take it from there. But before then, I think I'm going to put an iron to this so that it's very flat and it'll be easier to work with it. Okay, so I finished cutting out my shape. I want to cut out the same shape for the bird cage veil. Okay, so this is what I have. Now the next thing is to cut my millinery wire, and that as usual is 1 millimeter so in thickness. So I measured the circumference of the shape I have, and that gave me 27 inches, and I've added 2 inches as overlap. So I'm going to be cutting it, my millinery wire, at 29 inches, and then I'll do my overlap and do the bind. Okay, so whatever shape you have, you're going to have to go around it with your tape measure like that. Okay, you take round it round, and then you find the measurement, and then you add 2 inches overlap to it. So this is my millinery wire. I'm just trying to see what the size is going to be, and now you can stitch it, you can bind it together, and it looks like what I have here is workable. So I'm going to be leaving mine at this point, and then I can stitch it down. So you do the exact thing with your own shape. Okay, so as usual, I'm using the cotton thread, okay, to bind the shape together, to bind my millinery wire. So I've started from here. I'm going towards this end, like you can see. I'm just wrapping it around just to hold the ends of the millinery wire together, and take it all the way to the end. Then we bring it back inside again to this end, and then we bring it back towards the center to finish it off there. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to start stitching onto my millinery wire. So I'm using the fisherman's cord. All right, this is going to be the right side, but my longer stitches are coming over there because I need to catch it on with the bird cage veil as well. Okay, so I'm going to be doing my slip stitch all the way round. All right, so this is what we have here. I've had to trim it quite close to the millinery wire, not too close, but close enough, because when we lay edging around it, I don't want it to be, the edging to be too big. You see what I mean in a minute, but let's go on to making some strips. So I'm going to be cutting strips of about 2.5 inches wide, and as usual, you're going to get your cinnamon, and then we are cutting on the bias. So you're going to be cutting three strips of 22 inches long, 2.5 inches wide. You're going to do 3 of them, okay? Then you do one last one of 17 inches long, 2.5 inches wide. And if your cinnamon comes a bit folded, you have to press it with iron to straighten it up. Now, as you're pressing with the iron, don't pull it, because the moment you pull it, you lose some width length, okay? So just tap like that, just to straighten it up. Now what you're going to do next is to get our lace fabrics, and we are going to be cutting strips of equal length for the cinnamon. This means that you're going to be cutting 3 strips of 2.5 inches wide, 22 inches long, 3 of that. Then we do one last one of 2.5 inches wide, 17 inches long. Okay, we're going to lay them over these strips, and then we'll do the edging for that. But let's go one step at a time. Now let's go and get our strips and bring it in. Now as you're cutting our strips for the lace fabric, you have to be cutting on a bias. So as you know, in millinery, most of our cuttings are done on a bias. All right, okay. All right, so I've done a few steps. I'm going to talk to you about it. So when you cut your lace fabric into strips, equal strips of your cinnamon fabric, you're going to overlay them, all of them, okay, like that, like I have done. You're going to overlay all of them with the lace fabric. So you're going to have 4 strips of lace and cinnamon fabric, and then when you finish, you're going to be cutting your satin fabric. For me, I'm using the bridal satin fabric because I want it a bit stronger than the other satins. So the bridal satin is what I'm using. You're going to be cutting strips of width 2 inches wide. All right, so this is what I have, 2 inches wide of strips, and I have 9 of them, okay, long strips. I'm going to tell you the reason why you have to cut 9, because you're going to be edging these cinnamon strips here. So I'm going to be doing the edge here and the edge here, okay? So 2 of your satin strips for 1 strip of cinnamon and lace. I hope I'm making sense, because you're going to be edging both edges here and there. All right, we'll do that for here and here, here and here, and here and here as well. Okay, so we're going to be doing it for all the strips. That is why you need 9. So you realize that for the 4 strips, you're going to be needing 8 satin strips. And then the 9th one is what you're going to be using to finish off this edge. You have your 2 inches wide satin strip. what you're going to be doing next is I'm going to get one of my strips here and take you through what I did. But I had used the bias strip tool rather to help me do my bias strip, okay, to finish it off beautifully. But if you don't have it, so this is it, what I have. It came in a pack, okay, and I got it off Alibaba some years ago. Okay, so this is what you have: bias tape maker set, right? But if you don't have the bias tape maker set, I'm going to show you what to do as well. So you take your 2-inch strip, put it into 2 equal halves like that, and then you put an iron to it. Okay, so in the end you're going to have a center line like that. Okay, then you take this edge, fold it half towards the center and put an iron to it, and fold it half towards the center and put an iron to it. So then you would have finished your bias tape. But if you don't want to do it that way, for me the bias tape maker is easier for me because I'm doing a lot of strips. You're going to be doing 9 strips, so that is what I use to finish this set. And I'm going to take another strip and then I'll show you what I did. So you're going to feed the edge of your strip over here. Okay, get something to just push it towards the other end so that it's going to be coming out of the other end. And as you pull it, it folds it for you. So you just put an iron to it, gently draw it out, and then press it down with an iron, a steam iron preferably, so that you have it folded permanently, like kind of permanent fold in there. So I'm going to do that for all my strips, and then we come on to stitching, which will be the next step from here. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing to all the strips. Okay, this is what you're going to be doing to it. So this is my shortest strip. I'm going to finish the edge here and here as well with some of the bias strip, okay, just for the shortest strip, but the rest of them you're just finishing 2 ends. Okay, now this is what we have. I'm going to take you through everything. I've had to turn this up a bit, okay, so it's going to sit up like that. And then I have the shorter strip that is going to serve as my bow legs. Okay, I'm going to be stitching that down, and then I've turned the other strips, the longer ones, into bows. So what I did was to wrap them together. Okay, I'm going to get a strip and show you what I did. So if this happens to be my long strip, I fold it like that and like that. Okay, then I get another fabric to hold it in the middle like that as a bow. So I'm going to do my bow arrangements here. All right, 3 of them. I'll put them together, arrange them nicely the way I want them to look. Then I'm going to bring my brooch and then glue them on top of it. See, I'm going to first stitch this down, then put these 3 together. Okay, probably get a rope to bind them all 3 together and try and stitch it down. If I can, if I cannot, I'll use a glue gun, and then I'll use a hot glue gun to do my brooch arrangement here. Okay, we are going to be putting this whole piece on a clip, a hair clip, to finish it off beautifully. So I'm going to do that and bring it back for you to see everything else. All right, so I've stitched the bow legs down. I'm going to bring the rest of the bows together. Okay, so that is it on all sides. So we've come to the end of another project. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give our video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to share our video as well. Leave all comments in the comment section below and we'll do well to respond to them all. Whilst we end this session, I would still continue to introduce Podcast with Sheila to you as another channel of mine. And on this channel, we share inspiring real life experiences. So people come on to share their experiences to inspire others as to how they were able to overcome a particular situation or issue in their life at a point in time. I think you should check that one out as well. And if you like it, subscribe it, because we always have new stories and experiences coming out weekly. Until we meet again in our next